Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Whether watching live or the recording later, I see lots of people I know in the room, and it's just fabulous to be here among so many great educators, whether you're presenting or watching. And I'm here to talk. I don't know how my talk I titled 10 Minutes with Chuck Sanders. It's really 10 principles that I believe in, and that the two organizations that I work for and with now represent. And those two organizations are ITDI, the International Teacher Development Institute, and a new collaboration that we have now with Gallery Languages through the new website, galleryteachers.com. So you can see there's lots of people here, and a lot of the presenters here are people involved in both of these groups. So you'll see them all over the place, and actually there's more. I had to use an older slide for ITDI. So the 10 principles that define what I believe and what we do, and everybody who works with ITDI and Gallery Teachers believes this, that every teacher matters. That's the first principle. Every teacher matters. It doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is or what your first language might be or what kind of training you've had or opportunities. It doesn't matter. If you're a teacher working with learners, you matter, and what the work that you do is very, very important. And every teacher, whether you have money or don't have money, doesn't matter. You deserve the chance to become a better teacher. And I've seen in my own life, I grew up in a very rural part of the United States where we didn't have access to anything except a couple of good teachers there. And I look at the graduating class. I just wrote about this on the ITDI blog. People who graduated with me, we've in this farming town have gone on to do some amazing things in the world, and the only thing that we have in common are some great teachers. So we can all become better teachers. Being a teacher, you never stop. There's no day in your life where you can say, "Okay, I've learned enough, and that's it." It doesn't matter how long you've been teaching or how experienced you are or whether you're famous or not famous, whatever. You can always become a better teacher. And every time I go into the classroom and start working with people, I learn something, which is the next thing, is that we are all learners, all of us. And if we weren't learning, we wouldn't be teaching. And I've been looking at a lot of research about what everyone agrees on. All the research says that learners learn better together, and that goes for teachers. Teachers learn better in community with other teachers. It's great to work by yourself, and I live in the absolute middle of nowhere, Japan, where there are not a lot of people around to talk to. So a lot of the learning I do with others takes place online, and communities like ITDI and Gallery Teachers, and here in this community now. So we learn better together. It just makes common sense. And the great thing about the 21st century, or one of the great things about the 21st century, is we can do this. Doesn't matter where you are, you can work with others. And this, we can all be leaders, every one of us. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're from a city or a village, or you're from North America or North Africa or wherever, the middle of nowhere in Japan, we're all leaders, and we all can be leaders. And I believe as teachers, we are all called to stand up and say, yes, I will answer the call and be even more of a leader. Teachers are called to do more. You are leaders whenever you teach someone. That's right. And I think it's our responsibility as teachers to even do more. Not just to teach someone, but to lead others forward, because this is how the world changes. Community works. I came across a guy named Bob Silger a few years ago at a TED conference, and I was listening to a lot of talks that day, and suddenly Bob Silger, a community activist from the United States, says, whatever the problem is, community is the answer. I'll say that again. Whatever The problem is community is the answer. And this I'm finding again and again in the work that I do with teachers, the work that I do with learners, and the work in the communities that I work in. It doesn't matter what the problem is. Somebody in the community knows how to answer the question, knows how to begin stepping forward and solving the problem. I've seen this happening. Bob Stilger has run these workshops throughout Japan following the great tsunami that happened here. And suddenly, out of this terrible thing that happened, people started to step forward and say, you know what? This is a great chance to start again, and to right here in the community, we can come up with better ideas and better ways to move forward. Whenever I get together with a group of teachers and we begin talking about things that could happen, that could become better, somebody in the community steps forward with an idea and something starts to happen. Yes, that's right. Just not impact at the school, but impact in the community, impact on the larger stage. And if you're here in this room, you know the kind of impact that you can have around the world. Absolutely, education matters. Education matters immensely. And there's so much going on in the world. We just really do not know how to handle it or how to even think about the difficult problems we face in the world. I read an article this week. It was called Doing the Small Work in the Great Work. None of us are called to do the great work, but we are all called to do the small work. And the small work means standing up in front of a group of people, bringing them together in community, in a classroom, and working with them. That's amazing. Whatever you're doing with a group of people as a teacher is work, and that work leads to change. And I've long said and believed that real change happens in the world one student, one teacher, one classroom at a time. I mentioned the farming community I came from earlier in this presentation. Out of this little farming community, there's a bunch of social workers, there's a bunch of teachers, there's a guy who writes jingles, he's a fabulous musician. He writes jingles that everybody has heard and has stuck in their head. There's a guy who worked on some of the technology projects like GoPro and other things that we use every day. And there's a lot of interesting people. Out of this little, really, a village in western New York State, and again, the only thing that these people all had in common were a few good teachers who we were lucky enough to have. And all of those teachers were teachers who worked tirelessly to become better teachers. And this, those who have are called to share with those who don't have. And none of us have a lot. Some of us have more than others, but whatever we have, we are called to share that with other people, whether it be money, resources, knowledge, opportunities. We're called to share that with other people, with other teachers, with other learners. And this is the thing that we believe absolutely in both IATDI and with Gallery Teachers. We give away 50%, 60% of all of our courses through IATDI are scholarships, and we're able to do that because some people are willing to pay. And a low cost. The IATDI courses cost around $50, and if you can't pay, well, apply for a scholarship and we'll give you one. Stephen Krashen is a member of our community and one of our faculty. He's offered to give away his course absolutely free to anybody who would like to watch it. You can just go to the IATDI website and you can watch Luke Meddings right now. He's giving away a free webinar that he did on Friday night. It's available until Thursday. Go to the IATDI Pro. And then there's galleryteachers.com, which I need to talk about just before we go away. And yes, you can become an IATDI patron and help us. We've just launched this. There's a bunch of great writers involved. There's a bunch of great people And you can subscribe absolutely free. And my timer is done. Time to stop. But there it is. And it's a new project. It's a new collaboration between Gallery Teachers and ITVI.pro. And it's free to subscribe. And if you can pay, there are some upgradable options that you can take advantage of. Very cheap, €3 a month for a lot of downloadable materials, or €25 a year.